Let me fix this. I'm lighting my arm on fire with a candle. It's all good. Okay, guys. Hi, happy Monday. I have a candle right in front of my keyboard and I'm just lighting my arm on fire. Like I literally can smell my hair burning. That's so cool. I'm blaming everything that's happening tonight on the moon. So while you're hopping on, indeed, I'm going to actually use some core balancing blend because heaven knows that I need it. This is from my favoriteest company, Nature Sunshine. And oh, by the way, if you ever want to join my tribe, they do have an awesome platform for you to sell their products. They're local to me here in Utah, so I love them. And they also just go above and beyond with the certifications that they hold and their pureness of their products. So I just don't ever talk about stuff that I can't get behind, and I love it. All right, so we'll just take a moment. I'm going to let you guys hop on. Also, share the love, show the love. I love it if you subscribe, comment, share, and tag. And hi, welcome. If you want to hop onto my YouTube channel, that's the easiest place to see everything that I do because I do go live twice on Mondays in different groups. And sometimes I know it can be confusing. So if you subscribe to the YouTube, I always do the videos. That's just my dog streaming to that platform. We're going to talk about something really cool. I mean, I always like to talk about something really cool. Do you ever wonder why? You're just like a kid, right? He comes into my office, then basically locks himself in. And of course, now he wants to go out of the office. All right, so let's talk about our body as an energy source. And I have something really cool to show you at the end. For those of you that have been following along and you see that I keep yakking about human design, I'm going to share a little tidbit about it with you. It literally can be an awesome game changer for your life. It's an awesome game changer, but it's an awesome game changer and it's also fun. So I'm all for that, right? Because you got to want to do it. So, but first, we're going to talk about your body as an energy source. So, quantum physics comes along. Quantum physics comes along, right? And basically, we determine as amazing human beings that every atom and molecule in the universe emerges from the quantum field. That is a fact, hardcore, proven. Okay. So then they start to say, okay, well, if that's the case, then that must also be what our bodies are made of. Our bodies are mass, right? So traditionally, we have, as society, looked at the body as a machine. And basically, you get a flat tire or something is wrong with it, and then we go to fix it. And we really didn't integrate the mind into this because the mind isn't really considered to be matter yet. So why would we do that? Yet when I want to move my arm, my mind is engaging the movement of my arm, right? So all of the processes in your entire body I have to move my candle because I'm realizing now that the sun has gone down outside that I'm like staring into it. It's kind of giving me like that burned impression of a flame right there. So all of our processes are encoded in our DNA, which then comes back to another past agreement of, yeah, so this is just my genetics and there's nothing that I can do about it. I was born with XYZ. My mom has XYZ. I mean, this is so ingrained into your being because you fill out a form when you go to the doctor's office that asks you, does anybody in your family have any of this? Right? And there's this huge list and you're checking it all off. And so right there, it's like cluing into your subconscious, like, hey, my mom has high blood pressure. Therefore, I now get this belief that I have high blood pressure because my mom had high blood pressure and I've been told that things are genetic, and then on and on it goes. And you start creating this for yourself. So genetics And the activity is also a part of, encoded in DNA. There's also in there is your ability to heal. Your body's ability to heal is encoded into this process. So we're going to take it even one more step further, and we're going to talk about the fact that it's solid neuroscience that the brain can be changed. It's called they refer to it as the brain is plastic. It can actually be molded and shaped. And think about when you hear people talk about brainwashing. You can influence, you can manipulate, we see it with trauma. We change the thought process and how our behaviors are. And it's very, very fluid. It's influenced by thoughts, self-awareness, choices, everything around you in your environment. In fact, let's please not. Let's please not. For the love of all, let's not. In fact, molecules carry information from your mind to every cell in your body. And I love this. I think about it all the time. And if you can engage in just this one little tiny thing, it can create a huge difference for you. And that is, I want you to think about the fact that, hello, Kim, that your body can and does hear what you are thinking. So every time I look in the mirror and I think something negative about myself, my body hears it. It's like being abusive to yourself, right? If I walk around my house and I allowed someone to say the things to me that I am willing to say to myself, or if I walked outside of my house and allowed someone to say to me, wow, that extra fat on your stomach from having kids looks disgusting, you would be like, I beg your pardon, right? You wouldn't let someone else talk to you like that. Yet you look at yourself and you see these things in this tone of voice, in this really degrading way. Why can't you just stop doing that? Why can't you get this right? Why? What are you doing that for? I mean, we're just so mean to ourselves. And you wouldn't allow someone else to talk to you like you don't let your kids talk to you like that. You're not going to let your spouse talk to you like that. I hope you're not going to let people outside in public talk to you like that. So be more aware, be really cognizant of how you are talking to yourself. In fact, most of you would never talk to your pet the way that you talk to yourself. Your body hears you. When you say you're fat, it hears you. When you say, oh, I look ugly, ooh, my hair looks yucky, ooh, I feel whatever, it hears it, it aligns. Your body wants to please you, and so it follows suit of what you are saying. So your genes aren't fixed, your mind can be altered. What is happening to you physically is absolutely has a huge connection to your mind. It's the mind body connection. It is a loop. You know, I love to talk about things in threes. Why do you have to sit in the threshold of the door like a creeper? Because you're my dog. Okay, so we're going to talk about three things, because if you don't, first of all, I want you to really, really, believe this. Believe this for yourself. Believe. Hi, hello. I'm glad you really need to hear this. Thank you for commenting. It goes into this loop. So here's how this works. We're just going to use the easy one, because we look at ourselves in the mirror every day. But even if we do whatever, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you say something negative, your body hears the negative thought. Okay. And then it starts reacting accordingly. And then your mind processes what your body's doing. And now you're just getting more and more angry and more frustrated with yourself. Because let's say that you're talking so negatively to yourself that your kidneys start having an issue. Then you start getting upset with your body, and now you're not feeling gratitude for your body at all. And so now you're being like, oh, why is my body breaking down? Woe is me. I am so mad that whatever, right? See how that loop goes? And so then you're talking poorly about your health, and then your body's hearing it. And then it's like, oh, my health is bad. She said so. And it's just this loop, and it aligns with everything. So that's why you really want to master a couple of things. One is gratitude. So there was this time when um, I first met Dave, my husband that I'm married to now, and his wife passed away, and she had an issue with her kidneys. And I ran across a laptop that he had. And so there was some like saved videos on it. And I was watching some of the videos, and I'm telling you what, I had so much gratitude for my body. And at the time, I think I was pregnant and I was feeling really yucky and just, you know, how you get into that. And I was watching this video of his previous wife, and she had gone through some really, really horrible physical things. And she was at physical therapy, and she was trying to lift her arm, and she had lost like her mobility. And I was like, oh my gosh, like watching that video, I will tell you, I was so aligned with seeing how much Dave had been through and caring for her. I vowed there and then to not talk poorly about my body, because I knew that Dave had been married to someone who couldn't walk, who had to be lifted in and out of a car, who had to have assistance going to the bathroom. And I was like, wow, you know, that's pretty selfish of me to talk poorly about my body that is working perfectly well by complaining about the fact that I don't like the way my legs look when they are carrying me around every day. And they've carried me around for 42 years or however old I am. And I want to have gratitude for that. Even if I'm sick, I'm still going to find gratitude for my situation. I'm going to accept that something is wrong with me and find gratitude for it and be the friend that my body needs mentally to help me get to that space. Be that person you would be to someone else for yourself. Like, honestly, stop being so mean to yourself, because it's a continual feedback loop. So find gratitude, because gratitude brings you so much positive energy, and talk kindly to yourself. So 3 things that I want you to remember, and don't hop off because I'm going to show you something really cool in a second. Your mind affects the matter of your body is one. I'll repeat these so you can write them down if you want. Your mind affects the matter, physical matter, atoms of your body to the molecule level. Your cells are listening. Your body listens to your mind and responds according in an effort to align with your vibrational frequency of what you are thinking. So you walk around negative all the time, don't expect that your body is going to give you positive, happy physical alignment. It's simply doing what you're doing. Your body listens to your mind and responds according in an effort to align with you. Okay? Your genes express what you are thinking. It is a feedback loop. I think, my body reacts. I think, my body reacts. There you go. Okay, I'm going to show you something super cool, because one of the things, right, is people are like, how do I do some of this stuff? So you know that I've been posting a lot about human design. And the reason that I find it to be so valuable is because I do energy work for people where and I also teach you, it can teach you how to do this for yourself, but I I teach people, but I also can clear things from your subconscious. So if you have like a trauma, you've been in a physical trauma before, you've been in a car accident when you were 5 and it created all this stuff for you, whatever it is, you have all this stuff built up all over all your life. And sometimes you harbor it and it's fine. And then something happens and it kind of blows up. And then you're like, why do I feel like my life is out of control? When really all I did was stub my toe. And that's why. It's because it was all building up, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, literally. So one of the things that works really super well is, yes, we can clear these things from the subconscious, and yes, we can align you. But if you get your cognitive mind on board with your subconscious releases, it's almost like adding this boom, like this boost to it. So that's why I love adding these like extra tools. I love NLP because I teach people, like, not only do we want to release from the subconscious, but I want you to realize that some of the beliefs that you're believing in, they're not even yours. They're like someone else's. And then your cognitive mind is like, oh, you're right. You know what? I actually don't really believe that. That's something my mom said. Cool. Let it go. And then your cognitive mind's like, oh, yeah, And your subconscious is like, I let it go too. And then we all get into this place of merry, happy, and all is well. So I'm going to show you this. So this is, I've had a lot of people say, I'm interested in your human design course, but I don't really understand what it is that I'm going to be learning. And so I threw this together. Of course, I found this super stinking cute PowerPoint template. So when you see it, you'll be like, yep, that's her. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to show you, I just threw this together a minute ago. So I will also tell you if it has spelling grammatical errors. My brain doesn't work like that. That's part of my human design. I don't need things to be spelled right for me to interpret them. And that's just how it goes. But I'm going to show you some quick little tidbits about why this is really cool, how you can use it. You can use it. Anyone can use it. If you're an energy healer, worker, practitioner, you can also incorporate this into your practice. That helps you kind of understand your clients better, but helps your clients understand themselves. But even that, if you just want to do this for yourself, but think about doing this for like your kids, helping you understand your kids better. It's beautiful for that. So let's look at it. So it's basically your soul's blueprint. And I'm going to break this down for you so that it's really understandable, because it can be fairly complicated. And I love to keep it like clean and simple for you. So here we go. This is how I want you to think about it. And let me blow this up because just because of the way that my screen shares, it gets kind of little. Okay, here we go. So I want you to think of it as like a set of house plans, right? If I'm going to build a house, I'm not going to go look at the electrical component diagram of the house and decide this is the floor plan that I want, because it really doesn't make any sense to me yet, right? So where do I go? I probably first want to start with, well, where am I going to build my house? Right? So you can think of that as, okay, human design has some types. You can be a generator, a manifester, a projector, a reflector. There's just these specific types. I like to think of them, they kind of remind me of the level of like when you know your zodiac sign, right? That's broken up into 12. Is that a way to really know your personality? Yes, but no, right? Because you read your horoscope or you read all about your sign and you're like, well, this fits, but there are some things about it that don't really align with me. Human design goes down into the little itsy bitsy details. And so it's just more in depth is the easiest way to put it. So you have 5 types. That's kind of like the subdivision name where you want to build your house. Then you have 9 centers. Those are similar to chakras. So your head, your throat, your heart, your spleen. So those affect your energy as well, depending on which ones are active or not active. And I'm going to show you in a minute an example of having your head center active, which sounds kind of funny, but I'll show you what that means. So you have your centers. I like to think of those as the siding, the exterior, the brick, the outside of your house. How does it look? And then there are 36 channels. Those are kind of like the floor plan of the house. But then it can go even deeper. Now we're going to go into finishes, like what kind of countertops you want. If you want, granite, if you have hardwood floors or carpet. And then we go, well, actually, that's the floor plan. I skipped one, right? I don't know if I said the channel, the gates. So 64 gates. So all the finishes. And then if that isn't enough, we can go into lines, which are all these little intrinsic details about you. And everybody's human design is completely unique to them. So I'm going to show you an example of one of the spots. So let's skip down to a chart. So this is what a human design chart looks like. If you take my course, I'll show you where you can get these. I'll show you some places you can pull them off for free. I'll also show you some different software options if this is something you want to do. Like if you have a business and you want to do it for clients, I'll show you some of the places you can go to pull these off and kind of the differences between them, because some of them are free, some of them cost. So I'll show you how that works. But so this is basically what I was talking about. So you have, and you can't see, there's a little box that's kind of got some more description that isn't on this. But so you can't see the type, but you can see the centers. So that's what all of these are, the triangles and the squares. And you can tell if they're defined or undefined or opened or active, however you want to say it, because they're colored in or not. So you can see on mine, my throat is one of my active ones. My mind and my head are not. Make lots of jokes about that if you like. Anyway, and then these are my gates, are the numbers, and the channels are the lines. So depending on how your lines are colored in, also gives more detail to your design and your personality and things that you can focus on and the strategy you can create for yourself. And then you'll also see all this stuff over on the side. Those are even going into more detail. So let me give you an example of how this works and how you can use it. So we're just going to look at very simple. Remember, we're looking at a center. So this is the exterior, brick, siding. That's the level that we're at, okay, as far as like the detail. So this is called the head center, pressure center, wherever you want to call it. You can see that it has gates in it. 64, 61, and 63. So we're not going to talk about the gates right now. Those are going a little bit deeper. And then these are the channels coming off the gates, and that's going even deeper. So this is just looking at it as the center. Okay. So the head center, your head center is either going to be defined or undefined. And I am only touching on this a little bit, right? Because I'm teaching an entire course on these things. So if your head center is defined, it means you're pondering, you're thinking, reviewing, deep thought. You tend to have a quizzical facial expression, and you absolutely radiate inspiration to other people. If it is undefined or opened, it means that you can be very inspired by your environment, which can mean that you can also seem all over the place. So you might be like always diving into stuff. Now, I'll tell you what, when I first saw this, I was like, how is my head center not defined? I'm really big into pondering, deep thinking, quizzical thoughts, and all that stuff. It doesn't mean that you can't pick up on attributes of that. It's just that there's another spot in my human design that explains the way that I am a lot more, but I am very much very inspired by what is around me. And I sometimes can seem all over the place. You can be very influenced by other people's opinions. Okay. So as of right now, that's pretty simple. Catherine, no, your designs do not change, but there are specific places in your design chart that are, I like to think of them as more like malleable, pliable. Let's use pliable. So you can be affected, and I'm gonna show you that right now. Okay, so great, right? This is so far, this is a lot like, okay, I read my zodiac sign or whatever. So this is where it gets really cool. So depending on the things that are connected to your centers, those also affect. You can see like mine are partially opened and partially closed on my channels. You attract the energy of other people based off of this. It makes you a match for certain people. There are certain energies that affect each other. So that's where it gets really fun, because you're not just looking at it, oh, my throat center is colored, so I like to talk. We talk about how your energies overlap with other people and how if someone comes around, which we're going to do that now. So what happens, or why, or how can I use the fact that I know that my head center is open or closed to use as a key for my life and, having things be more fluid or flow for me. So awareness, that's what this is really about. It's about being completely aware of yourself and the other people around you. So if you have a defined head center, you will be wanting to know that you sometimes can provide concepts that are a little bit overwhelming to other people. So having awareness means that, okay, if I'm going to try to express something to someone, I need to like bring it down a notch. Like I used to work with a lady and she's an engineer, and the way she would explain things, I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't consider myself to be uneducated or, not intelligent, but the way that she would explain stuff, I was like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it makes you aware that, hey, this makes sense to me, but Does it make sense to somebody that doesn't understand it at my level, right? Here's one. This is really cool, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So you can really overwhelm others with your energy, with your thoughts. What if you are a defined head center and your kids have an undefined head center? So remember that an undefined head center is very influenced by the thoughts or the inspiration around them. So here's what can happen. So undefined head centers, if you're aware that that's what you are, you can stop carrying around the outside issues of everybody else. You are aware of that, you're doing that. So then you start to be like, wow, I can choose what inspiration I want to use. I can choose. Now, this one applies to me a lot. So here's what happens. Like, I get involved in like running my business and I see all this stuff and I'm so impressed by all of it. And then I want to use everybody's program, or I want to do all this stuff. And then I'm like all over the place. And before I know it, I'm signed up for 72 classes and I'm writing 14 books. And right. So being aware that that's how I am, I choose with intention where I want to direct my energy instead of just letting it all be hodgepodge all over the place, being affected by lots of people. I'm also really picky about what I do, what I involve myself in, what I watch, who I listen to, what I read, because I know that I'm really affected by that, having an undefined center. You become really aware of your surroundings and avoid flying by the seat of your pants. This one is really big for me because I am also a manifester. So I'm always trying to engage in creation of stuff. And sometimes I react like really quick if something happens and I don't take the time to think through what I'm doing. And then I sometimes react at the spur of the moment, when if I would have took a little bit of a breath, I sometimes create a problem for myself that really didn't need to be created. So it's having that awareness. Now here's, whoops, class rules. We do not have class rules. That's just from my cute presentation. So here's what I really want you to take away from this. This is where it gets really, really good. And remember, as I'm telling you this one and you're like, wow, we're outside of the house still. We haven't even looked into the windows. Like, you don't even know what the kitchen looks like yet as far as your specific design goes. Okay. A defined head center energetically deposits questions into the aura of an undefined head center. What do you think about that? So if I'm a parent and I have a defined head center, how do you think that affects my kids if they have an undefined head center and my energy is going into their head center like that? It can make your kids ask lots of questions and you can get really irritated with them when you were the one actually creating that for them. See the awareness that I'm talking about? It's like a million light bulbs being turned on all at once. That's what learning about your specific human design. And like I said, I'm showing you right now a teeny glimpse into the head center, which is simply right here. It's the outside. Like, we haven't even gotten into the floor plan. We haven't even looked at any of the finishes, and we're not even into the details of the light switches or the outlets or any of that. That's how amazing it is. It's like reading a book about yourself that is absolutely in alignment with exactly how you are. There is no, oh yeah, kind of some of that applies to me, but it's amazing. It's so amazing. And then, you dive into it, like Catherine asks, can your design change? So your design doesn't change, but there are certain things within your design that are influenced by the changes around you. It's so cool. Okay, there you go, guys. So if you're interested in that, I posted the link. It's at the beginning of the post where I went live. You can see it, but if you can't find it, you can message me. Okay, there you go. I hope you have a fantastic, terrific. Where's your puppy? Oh, geez. I hope you have a fantastic, delicious rest of your night and a beautiful week.